like a miracle. Watercolor prep process.
Don't do it. Just don't.
Threads and Instagram. I actually deleted both of those off of my phone, and here's why.
But that's what you gotta do when you're a business, right?
J for just me. Let's get real for a second. Let's get real, okay? I have been in a creative slump at least like a month, but I'm pretty sure longer than that. I've been wanting so badly to draw, and I've been wanting so badly to create things. Am I even in focus? It's been focusing on Ricky, hasn't it? I haven't felt like I know what to film. Anytime I've like tried to paint something, make something, I mean, remember those bookmarks that I made? Yeah, those didn't turn out so well because whenever I took the tape off, it just ripped the paint off right with it. I am telling you, every time that I try to do anything with acrylic, it's just cursed. And then like anytime that I tried to think up something that I could create digitally, some kind of cute little sticker I could make, or a new portrait that I could start, nothing would come to me. Nothing would come to me. And even if I thought, okay, I'm just gonna sit down with my iPad and just try to draw something, I just went absolutely blank. And then everything that I drew was just like, what even is this? You know, I've been wanting to go back and do some more like watercolor portraits like I had started doing last summer. So whenever I filmed my How I Draw Faces video, I was actually going to use that portrait and turn it into something that I had had in my head. I wanted to make her look like she was at the beach. I was gonna have her in like a really cute swimsuit. I had envisioned like sunglasses that were the shape of a sun. I had envisioned like a really cute beachy girl, all yellow kind of color theme. You're gonna see right here. Here, I'll scoot over. You're gonna see right here. It did not go well. Every attempt I made, it just wasn't working. And I really felt like, oh my gosh, I'm still in this like creative slump. I can't get anything to work out. None of my drawings are working out. I'm not gonna be able to get a painting done. I'm not gonna be able to get this done. And then I finally just took a break, and I really had to consider like, you know, maybe I'm really trying to force an idea that it's not meant to be that. So I took a break and I just let myself feel frustrated. I let myself feel upset. But then I had to really remind myself, you know, when it comes to being a creative person or doing things that are in the creative realm, there's always gonna be those times when nothing comes to you. You don't feel motivated to do it. You don't feel inspired. And I just had to remind myself like, Leslie, this is really common, especially with anything in the creative world, you know? So I had pretty much accepted like, you know what, I'm just in a creative slump. Yeah, it's been a long time, but it might be like, it could be as long as the whole rest of the summer I'm in a creative slump, and I'm just gonna have to work through that. I'm just gonna have to figure that out. It's okay. Like, I'm not gonna beat myself up over it. And then out of nowhere, I don't know, y'all, but it was like a miracle. I had an idea. What if she was watermelon themed? And as soon as I thought of that, I immediately came back in here and I created a watermelon girl. I was so excited because the second that I thought about watermelon, I was like, that's it. that's what she's gonna be. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good because I think it's gonna be really cute. Also, fun fact, watermelon is my absolute favorite fruit. And for a while there in my life, like I feel like all through my childhood, watermelon was my favorite food. I'm about to show you my watercolor prep process. Let's get to it. Look how cute she is. But wait, want to see something even cuter? Oh, look at that. She's probably really fed up with me. Okay, I've kind of explained the process in a bunch of different videos, but if you're new here, or if you haven't seen all those other videos, I'm just gonna quickly go through my process of how I prepare my watercolor paintings. Did you hear the way I said color? If you haven't watched my How I Draw Faces video, it'll pop up right here, or right here. We're still not sure. We have the line art. There's two different ways that I have been going about transferring my line art to paper. Oh, Rune. The way that I originally used to do it, keep the line art black, print it out onto just regular computer paper, layer my watercolor paper on top of that. What? Put it on top of the light pad, basically just trace with whatever color pencil is going to be the prominent color of that portrait, because I knew those were the main colors that I was going to be using. Okay, well that was a really high jump. What I've started to do, I would make the line art in Procreate, whatever the main color is going to be. So for this, I'm gonna be changing this to a bunch of like red and green. Make the opacity of the line art go way down. Print it directly onto the watercolor paper. And then, I know it kind of seems like, well, what's the point of that? But I go back over the line art, even though it's printed onto the paper, I go back over everything with colored pencils, because the ink, it will actually like just blend right off as soon as I start adding the watercolor to it. So I have to go ahead and layer on top of the ink with the colored pencils in order to make sure that the line art stays put. Everything that I need red or pink, I've made red or pink. Pretty much the only green are her eyes and that little background squiggle thing. And if you're wondering, how do I know which lines to make what color? Well, let me show you right here. I went ahead and I planned out all of the colors to get my color palette planned and prepped right here. I love to plan out the colors because if I'm just winging the colors, a lot of the times it comes out not at all harmonious. It looks very muddy. So I like to go ahead and plan out my color palettes on Procreate. I have the line art all colored on here. Then what I'm gonna do, turn the opacity way down. So you're barely gonna be able to see it, see? So that when it prints on the paper, it prints very light. Now I'm going to share it as a JPEG. Send it over to my laptop, and then from my laptop, I'm gonna print it onto my watercolor paper. All right, so that's what we've got. It has been transferred over as a JPEG. I have the watercolor paper that I use. The size is 8.25 by 11.5, and then I print. So page size, I have to put it as others because there is not an 8.25 by 11.5 page size on my printer, at least not that I know of based on the labels that it has. And then for the paper type, I put it as cardstock. So it just comes out really super duper light, which is perfect. And then I'm gonna get some color pencils and we're gonna start going over all these lines. things. One, I'm not using my microphone. I know. And number two, I can't remember which video I said this in. Last year, in one of my paint and chat with me videos, I was kind of just like talking about just really random things. I was talking about like the books that I was reading at the time. And this was one of them. Last year. In fact, I started reading this book the day after my last day as a graphic designer at my previous job. And I just now finished it. In my first full year as a full-time, like everything I've learned in my first full year as a full-time artist video, I had talked about one of my biggest misconceptions going into being an artist full time is that I really thought that somehow I would just have access to more time than anyone else in this world. And I really thought that because I would be able to spend 8 to 5 making art and videos and content and editing and filming and drawing and all that stuff, then I'd get to spend my evenings reading tons and tons of books and getting a bunch of other stuff done. I finally finished this book one whole year later. I gotta say, it was great. I loved it. I loved the ending. If you're looking for a fun, little magical, a murder mystery and some witchy magicness and all that, this is a really good one. I really liked it. The Last of the Moon Girls by Barbara Davis. So Friday was the summer solstice. It was a great day. It was fabulous. I spent most of the day outside soaking up that sunshine. And one of the things that I wanted to do because of the summer solstice is look back on the beginning of this year. Look at all of the plans that I was going to put in place and compare to now and look at, is there anything that I didn't do that I still want to do? Is there anything that I kind of don't really want to put focus on anymore? Is there anything that needs to like change? Any goals that need to change? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of look at my 2025 is our year, my small art business marketing plan video on YouTube. One of these. And I am going to see what all I had said I wanted to do in 2025 and kind of review it and see if there's anything that I need to reconsider, change, or keep doing. We're just gonna skim through it. I don't want to watch this whole video. Here's the first thing. Next time that I get the bright idea that I should chop all of my hair off, don't do it. Just don't. Leslie, don't. Biggest mistake I have made in a long time. Man, you know what else I'm getting from this video? My chair is still squeaky as all get out, and I really should fix that. I need a new chair. Step 1, the game of social media. Oof, okay. Social media, let's talk about it. I really thought that this year was gonna be the year that I just took social media and I was like, yo, I'm your boss now. Well, not quite, and honestly, I'm okay with that. Threads and Instagram. I actually deleted both of those off of my phone, and here's why. I found that I was scrolling, like doom scrolling, more than I was even posting and benefiting from Instagram and like marketing myself on there. I think it was sometime in May. I finally was like, you know what? I'm just done. I am so sick of wasting precious time scrolling, getting stuck scrolling, because even if I would go on there and post, I would find myself scrolling. I still have Instagram on my iPad, and that's why I was like, okay, I'm fine with taking this off of my phone, because on my iPad, for me personally, it's not a natural feeling to just scroll on my iPad because it's so huge, you know? I don't really like naturally just sit there on my iPad and scroll through Instagram, so I don't have the temptation to do that. I will say there have been a couple of times that I considered putting Instagram back on my phone for the sake of posting more often, because here's the thing. If I post, there's a chance that it won't go anywhere, it won't do well, it won't get views, it won't get seen. I mean, we all know the fight of Instagram. But if I don't post at all, there's absolutely zero chance of anything getting seen, getting spread, getting views, getting followers. I don't think it's worth it to put it back on my phone for the sake of posting, because after I deleted Instagram, I cannot tell you how much happier I felt instantly. Like, I felt free. What I think I'm gonna be doing is setting aside specific time, maybe every other day, get stuff, transferred over to my iPad from my phone and posted on Instagram or something. I really want most of my focus to be on YouTube. I love YouTube the most. Now, one social media platform has actually been added to my list, and it's one that I thought was a lost cause for me, and that's TikTok. And I thought it was a lost cause because I got banned last year. I don't know for sure why, but I had started posting on TikTok. I think I had like 3 videos up, and my 3rd video blew up. Views, likes, and tons of comments almost immediately. Like within the first hour, it had just blown up. And I was so excited because it was the first like viral TikTok. Well, it looked like it was going viral. I got really excited, and every time a new comment came in, I immediately went in there and responded back, like within the first 5 seconds. And then out of nowhere, my TikTok was banned. I tried to counter it basically and be like, I think you wrongfully banned me. And then I think I also started emailing them, and I got robot responses, and it just kept sending me like, here are the community guidelines, and it was telling me you're not allowed to go live without this many followers, or if you're underage, you're not supposed to be showing underage children or anything explicit or blah blah blah. And I kept responding back like, I didn't do any of that. I literally didn't do any of that. I don't know what you're talking about. I've read the community guidelines. I didn't curse. I didn't even show skin. I did nothing, absolutely nothing. And eventually I just kept getting the same response, same robot response over and over. And eventually the TikTok robot emailed me back and said, this is our last time we'll be responding to you. So nothing got resolved. I was permanently banned. And then I think it's when TikTok shut down for, I don't know what, a few days, a week, and then came back. It was like it reset everything. And I have been posting on TikTok almost every day, and it's been doing really well. I'm consistently growing followers. My TikToks are actually getting over 1,000 views on almost all of them. Whereas like Instagram, I'm lucky if I get like 30 views. I'm just as shocked as you are, okay? YouTube. I'll make this short and sweet. All right, so step 2 was YouTube, and I wanted to put way more focus in YouTube, and I already said, like, that's still my focus. YouTube, anytime that it's like, okay, I need to do something today, create something today, film something today, make content, it's all in my head. It is all based on YouTube. All right, step 3, and you're not gonna like this. Step 3, slowing down and making less art so that I spent more time marketing myself. I kind of attempted that a couple of times, and I always noticed that's whenever I started to feel really just down about everything and I didn't like where anything was or was not going, and I just kind of felt really uninspired and unmotivated. I felt like I didn't really know what I was doing, and I think it's because right now I want to be the artist. I want to make art, because when I make art, that's when I make content. I like a good mix of both, but I feel like it's like, well, what am I even marketing if I don't have anything that I've created to market and show? If I haven't made art in a long time, I get a lot more tense. When I'm making art consistently, I feel a lot happier. I know what I'm doing. I get inspired. I get more ideas of like things that I can film and stuff that I can show and ways to go about the business side. When I'm really thriving and achieving and I have the creative outlet, then it inspires me to do the business side. If I'm doing the creative work, it inspires me to then do the business and the marketing and all that stuff. I definitely feel like I could market more. I could market better. I do think that there is room to market more and to do more when it comes to marketing myself and my work and what I do. But I think the slowing down the whole art side of things, it did not benefit me at all. It did not. I think it took away a lot of inspiration and motivation for the business side of it all. Which takes me to step 4, the marketing plan. Okay, so step 4 was the marketing plan, and it was just a really general thing. I don't really know my LuRu Studios brand backstory. I don't think I have one. I think maybe some of us, like me, myself and I, get too caught up in like LuRu Studios has to be a brand and I have to present it as a brand, when really it's like, no, I mean, it's just me. It's just me making things. Show the creation of each product. Okay, I did do that. I did actually do that with my moon face stickers and my retrograde stickers. I will say this though, little sneak peek into the next vlog. I know it sounds a bit early, but that's what you gotta do when you're a business, right? In my next video, I will be planning out my fall collection. We use the word collection and launch very loosely over here at LuRu Studios. I'm going to be starting to plan out things that I want to start selling for fall. And I know, it's still June. That's just business. I want to start planning now because I want to start creating everything in July. I do have some marketing content creation plans. Of course, quality over quantity. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's really an issue. I think that was still falling into the category of making less art to focus more on the actual like marketing side of it. And I'd rather have fun making art. I'm not gonna have anything to market if I'm not making the art. I think my biggest goal right now, having a fall collection like I wanted last year, but didn't do. This year I want to do better. And I already have some ideas, but you're gonna have to wait until the next video to find out what those ideas are. I think I've just kind of learned that I need to make art in order to feel inspired to do the business side and the content creation side of things. My goal for YouTube is I just want to get better and more consistent, and I want to post more, as in like more shorts. So I guess I need to kind of figure out what that would even look like. But in the meantime, I hope you guys like this video. If you did anything for the summer solstice, like anything fun, fabulous, magical, summery, solstice-y. Also, if you have any goals for the second half of the year that you want to focus on for the next 6 months, and that you hope by the end of the year you are like, you're doing it, let me know. And otherwise, I'll see you in the next video when we are still going to be enjoying the summer, but we're gonna start planning for fall. Love you.
Yeah, I just wanna be